Story 1. The Abandoned Aisles. It was a stormy night when my best friend Mark and I found ourselves locked inside the massive Walmart store. We had been caught off guard by the sudden downpour, seeking refuge within the store's walls until the rain subsided. Little did we know, this impromptu shelter would become the backdrop for a bone-chilling encounter with the paranormal. As the automatic doors closed behind us with an echoing thud, we exchanged nervous glances. The store was eerily quiet, the only sounds being the pitter-patter of raindrops against the windows and the distant rumble of thunder. We decided to explore the aisles, hoping to find an employee who could let us out. The fluorescent lights flickered ominously as we made our way through the dimly lit store. Shelves stacked with products towered above us, casting long shadows that seemed to dance in the corners of our vision. The air held a heavy stillness, adding to the growing sense of unease. As we turned down an unlit aisle, a sudden chill ran down our spines. The temperature dropped significantly, causing our breath to form visible clouds in the air. Goosebumps prickled our skin as we cautiously continued forward, determined to find an exit. That's when we heard it, a whisper, barely audible but unmistakably present. It seemed to come from all directions, surrounding us in a vortex of disembodied voices. The words were indistinct, a jumble of unintelligible murmurs that sent shivers down our spines. The products on the shelves began to tremble, vibrating with an otherworldly energy. Cans rattled, boxes toppled over, and shelves groaned under an invisible force. Fear clutched at our hearts as we realized we were not alone in this forsaken place. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was a spectral apparition, its form translucent and ethereal. Its eyes glowed with an eerie light, fixated on us with an intensity that sent a jolt of terror through our bodies. We tried to scream, but our voices caught in our throats. Frozen in place by fear, we could only watch as the ghostly figure floated toward us. It reached out with spectral hands, its touch icy cold against our skin. We could feel a malevolent energy emanating from it, threatening to consume us. Summoning every ounce of courage, we managed to break free from the grip of fear. We fled down the aisles, the ghostly entity pursuing us with relentless determination. Our hearts pounded in our chests, our breaths ragged as we desperately searched for an escape route. Finally, we spotted an emergency exit sign, a glimmer of hope in the darkness. We sprinted towards it, the apparition hot on our heels. With a burst of adrenaline-fueled strength, we pushed open the heavy door and stumbled out into the rain-soaked parking lot, gasping for breath. We looked back, expecting to see the ghostly figure at the door, but it was nowhere to be found. The rain poured down in torrents, washing away the terror that had gripped us moments ago. We knew we had narrowly escaped a fate far more sinister than we could comprehend. Shaking and drenched, we made our way home, vowing never to set foot in that Walmart again. Little did we know that our encounter was just the beginning of a series of haunting experiences that would forever change our perception of the paranormal. Story 2. The Haunted Electronics. After the harrowing encounter in the abandoned aisles of Walmart, Mark and I couldn't shake off the lingering sense of dread that clung to us. But curiosity got the better of us, and we found ourselves drawn back to the store, determined to uncover the truth behind its paranormal mysteries. One evening, as the rain poured down relentlessly, we cautiously stepped inside the familiar Walmart doors. The atmosphere seemed heavy with anticipation, as if the store itself awaited our return. We decided to focus our investigation on the electronics department, where peculiar occurrences were rumored to take place. As we made our way through the aisles, the flickering fluorescent lights cast eerie shadows across the rows of televisions and computers. The hum of electronic devices filled the air, creating a disconcerting backdrop to our exploration. Suddenly, the screens on the TVs came to life, emitting a pulsating glow that illuminated the department. Images flickered on the screens, showing distorted faces and figures that seemed to materialize from the depths of the unknown. It was as if the electronic devices had become conduits for the supernatural. We approached one of the TVs cautiously, drawn to the mesmerizing display. As we watched, the distorted figures on the screen began to speak, a cacophony of whispered voices that echoed through the department. Their words were fragments of long-forgotten conversations, snippets of sorrow and despair. The voices grew louder, their tone filled with anguish and desperation. Mark and I exchanged alarmed glances, realizing that we had stumbled upon a restless spirit trapped within the electronic realm. It sought to communicate, to share its story with those who dared to listen. With trembling hands, we reached out to the TV screen, hoping to make a connection with the spectral entity. As our fingertips grazed the cold glass, a surge of electricity coursed through our bodies, causing us to recoil in shock. The room plunged into darkness, leaving us disoriented and vulnerable. But the darkness was short-lived. As the lights flickered back to life, we found ourselves surrounded by a multitude of ghostly figures. They materialized from thin air, their ethereal forms hovering before us, their eyes filled with longing. The spirits extended their translucent hands, beckoning us to follow. With trepidation, we obliged, trailing behind the spectral procession as it led us through the labyrinthine aisles of Walmart. The air grew heavy with sorrow, as if the spirits carried the weight of their unresolved past. Finally, we arrived at a forgotten corner of the store, a storage room shrouded in darkness. The spirits gathered around a dusty old box, emanating an intense energy that permeated the air. With a sense of trepidation, we opened the box, revealing a collection of photographs and letters. As we examined the mementos, the spirits' stories unfolded before us. They were lost souls trapped within the confines of Walmart, longing to be reunited with their loved ones. Their presence in the electronics department was a plea for help, a desperate attempt to communicate their plight. Filled with empathy, Mark and I vowed to assist these tormented spirits. We embarked on a mission to research their identities, uncover their stories, and connect them with their living descendants. It was a race against time, as the spirits' restlessness grew with each passing day. Our efforts yielded results, and one by one, we were able to bring closure to the spirits, reuniting them with their families and granting them the peace they so desperately sought. The electronics department, once a hotbed of paranormal activity, gradually returned to its mundane existence. The haunted Walmart had transformed from a place of fear and mystery into a sanctuary of redemption. Mark and I had played a part in unraveling the store's supernatural secrets, forever changing our perception of the world beyond the veil of our reality. But little did we know that the final chapter of our haunting journey was yet to come. Story 3: The Whispering Shadows. As our investigation into the paranormal activity at Walmart continued, Mark and I found ourselves drawn deeper into the enigma that shrouded the store. The haunting encounters we had experienced thus far had left us both fascinated and unnerved, but our determination to uncover the truth pushed us forward. One foggy evening, we ventured into the grocery section of the store. The shelves were lined with neatly stacked products, but an eerie silence hung in the air, broken only by the distant hum of refrigerators. It felt as though the very walls of the store held secrets waiting to be discovered. As we made our way through the aisles, an unsettling feeling washed over us. Shadows seemed to dance and shift, elongating and contorting in unnatural ways. Whispers echoed through the empty spaces, barely audible but laden with a sense of impending doom. Suddenly, the lights overhead flickered, casting the grocery section into darkness. Panic gripped us, and we fumbled for our flashlights, their beams cutting through the dense fog. The shelves and products took on an ominous quality, their shapes distorted and twisted. As we cautiously advanced, we noticed a figure lurking at the end of an aisle. It stood motionless, its form obscured by the murky darkness. The whispering intensified, growing louder and more insistent. It seemed to emanate from the shadow figure, beckoning us closer. Heart pounding, I approached the enigmatic presence, my flashlight trembling in my hand. As the beam of light illuminated the figure, a gasp escaped my lips. It was a man, his face pale and gaunt, his eyes hollow and lifeless. He appeared to be trapped between the realms of the living and the dead. The man reached out a trembling hand, his voice a mere rasp as he uttered fragmented words. He was a lost soul, trapped within the confines of Walmart, unable to find peace or salvation. His desperate pleas echoed through the empty aisles, tugging at our hearts. Driven by compassion, Mark and I vowed to help release the tormented spirit from his purgatorial existence. We delved into the store's history, unearthing the tale of a former employee who had tragically passed away within its walls. His unfinished business and restless spirit were the cause of the paranormal occurrences that plagued Walmart. Armed with this knowledge, we sought to perform a ritual of release, an ancient ceremony meant to guide lost souls to the other side. We gathered the necessary items and returned to the grocery section, ready to confront the supernatural forces that held the man captive. As we began the ritual, the atmosphere grew charged with energy. The whispers intensified, merging into a chorus of voices that reverberated through the aisles. Shadows writhed and twisted, as if resisting the release of the trapped spirit. But our determination prevailed. With each incantation, the man's form wavered, his essence slowly dissolving into the ethereal plane. As the final words of the ritual left our lips, he vanished, leaving behind a profound sense of peace and closure. The grocery section of Walmart, once a haven for the lost soul, returned to its mundane existence. The whispers and shadows dissipated, replaced by a newfound tranquility. Mark and I had succeeded in bringing solace to the tormented spirit, putting an end to the haunting that had gripped Walmart for so long. As we walked out of the store, the fog lifted, revealing a moonlit night sky. We knew our journey was over, and a sense of fulfillment washed over us. We had delved into the realm of the supernatural, faced our fears, and emerged victorious. The haunted Walmart would forever remain etched in our memories, a testament to the unseen forces that lurk in the shadows. Our lives had been forever changed by the encounters we had faced within those walls, and we carried the lessons learned with us as we ventured into the unknown. As we stepped into the night, the whispers of the past faded into the distance, leaving us with a newfound appreciation for the fragility of our reality and the enduring power of the human spirit. Thank you for watching Whispering Tales TV. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and join our community of fellow thrill seekers. Get ready for spine-tingling stories that will keep you up at night. Let the Whispering Tales begin.